There is a moment, quiet, almost imperceptible, when heaven leans in and speaks your name. You feel it first as a nudge, then as a conviction. A door you did not build is beginning to swing open. Do not mistake the stillness that brought you here for stoppage. The delays were not denial. They were God's careful hands aligning every piece so that when the door opens, everything that steps through is exactly what you need. You have carried seasons of waiting. You have whispered prayers in the dark, counted pennies on kitchen counters, and wrestled with doubt while hoping for deliverance. God knows those quiet burdens. He knows the prayers you thought no one heard. This word comes now because He is not unaware. He is preparing to release provision that will not fit in your expectations or budgets. Expect the unexpected, sudden opportunities, people showing up at the right hour, resources arriving in ways that defy explanation. Faith asks more than a one-time decision. It asks for posture. Stand differently. Breathe differently. Move with obedience even when the blueprint is invisible. Declare inwardly, even if your mouth trembles, I receive this blessing. Take one step, small, obedient, bold, into the space faith creates. This is not about frantic striving, but about a steady trust that acts. Familiarity can be a soft chain. Don't let the comfort of what has been keep you planted where God is calling you beyond. Imagine the door fully open, your finances reordered, wounds beginning to heal, a renewed sense of purpose like sunlight after a storm. That vision is nearer than you feel. Your role now is to believe and to respond. Speak your assent, position your heart, and lean into the unknown with courage. I want to hear from you. In the comments, share the one hope you have kept hidden. What would you do first if God's provision arrived today? Stay with me for the next video, where we will name 3 simple actions you can take now to align your steps with this season of miraculous supply. You have arrived at a quiet hinge in your story, a place where heaven leans in and the ordinary rules of cause and effect begin to loosen. For too long you measured progress by visible effort, by familiar strategies and carefully drafted plans. Yet now God is inviting you to a different measure, posture and surrender. He is speaking, and what hangs in the balance is not simply another paycheck or promotion, but a doorway to provision that will feel, at first, impossible. Remember the delays, the stalled projects, the unanswered emails, the closed doors that left you weary. Those were not signs of denial, but of divine alignment. Each setback was a careful pruning, preparing the soil of your heart to receive a harvest that your old methods could not produce. You were being steadied, taught to trust beyond sight, and ready to recognize provision that comes through unexpected people, sudden favor, and resources that appear without explanation. This moment asks for a small, courageous shift, to respond with faith where certainty is absent. Not a reckless leap, but an obedient step, an inward declaration spoken softly, a posture of readiness, a tiny action taken because you believe God is speaking. When you receive inwardly, you begin to see outward doors swing. Opportunities that once seemed unrelated will line up. Conversations will open. Promises whispered in the dark will begin to surface. You are not called to manufacture this blessing. You are called to steward your response. Move with humble confidence. Let your prayers be honest, your gratitude immediate, and your obedience consistent. As you take possession by faith, what awaits will not only reshape your finances, it will heal old places of fear, restore dignity to your purpose, and give you the margin to bless others. Curious about what the first obedient step looks like for you? Write a brief comment naming one small act of faith you're willing to take this week. Then stay with me. Next video we will unpack the practical posture that opens the door wider. You stand at the threshold of something quieter and more powerful than a strategy meeting or a budget correction. This is a spiritual hinge, a place where heaven leans in and speaks, softly, insistently, over the ordinary concerns that have weighed you down. The bills that stack up, the career pauses, the dreams you shelve for other people's timelines. God's invitation here is not to hustle harder, but to change your posture, to breathe, to trust, to obey in the small, radical ways faith asks. Remember, the delay was not denial. Every closed door, every wound, every lesson has been aligning you, pruning what would distract you from what is coming. The provision you're promised will not arrive wrapped in predictability. It will come as interruptions of grace, an unexpected call, the right person showing up at the right table, resources released in ways that defy your spreadsheets. Your role is to receive, to quiet the frantic whisper of doubt, and declare inwardly that you will take possession. You may fear stepping forward because you cannot see the road. That is exactly where faith lives. Act when certainty is absent. Make the small, courageous choices your heart can afford. A prayer you've been postponing, a generous move that scares you, a reorientation of your priorities to honor God first. These are not reckless acts, but obedient steps that unlock supernatural provision. Sense the gentle, steady unfolding. As you move into this season, your finances will begin to breathe differently. Your heart will mend in places you thought irreparable, and your purpose will align with a renewed clarity that guides every decision. You are not being asked to manufacture miracles. You're being invited to receive them. Curiosity. What if the blessing you're waiting for changes more than your bank account? Reflective comment. Share below one quiet prayer or one small step of obedience you're willing to take this week. Next video. In the next clip, we'll explore the first practical posture God is asking you to take. How to position your heart and your home to receive what's coming. There is a decisive moment breaking over you now. A quiet word from God that shifts the axis of your life. You stand at that threshold, feet balanced between what you've known and what you have not yet seen. This is not an invitation to more effort, but to a posture, faith shaped by stillness, obedience, and a willingness to step when logic cannot guarantee the outcome. If you have felt stalled, remember this: delay was not denial. Those seasons of waiting were a shadow of protection, a precise aligning of circumstances and character. Every closed door taught you discernment. Every wound taught you mercy. Every restless night sharpened your resolve. God has been assembling what you need in ways you could not plan. The right person who will appear at the right time, an unexpected resource that will arrive like a surprise wind, an opportunity that does not fit your blueprint but fits His promise. You are being called to claim what is already being released. Speak inwardly. Declare with quiet confidence that you receive this blessing. Let your posture at the altar of your heart shift from skepticism to expectancy. Act in small, faithful ways even when certainty is absent. Faith begins where sight ends. Your first step need not be grand. It can be a prayer, a choice to let go of a familiar rut, a simple obedience that says yes to what God places before you. Do not anchor yourself to what is comfortable because it is known. Familiarity will keep you rooted long after the season has ended. Move. Take possession by faith. When you do, what waits on the other side will reshape your finances, mend the ache in your chest, and renew the purpose that has grown quiet. Curious what the first practical step looks like for you? Share a brief comment below. What prayer have you whispered in the dark, or what small move could you take today? In the next video, we will name that first step and the way God prepares your path for it. You are standing at the threshold. A still, clear voice has begun to speak, and where you once saw walls, a door now sways open, slowly, deliberately, with a kind of miraculous weight to it. This is not the fruit of your strategies or the sum of your efforts. It is the invitation of divine provision, asking you to step forward in faith, posture, and obedience. Breathe. Feel the gravity of the moment. The delay you endured was not denial, but protection and precise alignment. Every missed opportunity, every hard lesson, every wound has been the quiet preparation of what you are about to receive. Do not mistake familiarity for security. Remaining where you are because it is known will cost you the unfolding of what God has prepared. He sees your midnight prayers, the whispered hopes you guarded like embers, the silent compromises you made to survive. He knows the exact resources, people, and doors that will appear at just the right time, often in ways you did not plan and cannot predict. These are not mere coincidences. They are supernatural intersections designed to reorder your finances, to heal what has been broken, and to restore a sense of purpose that goes beyond money. You are called to respond, not with frantic scrambling, but with the brave, steady act of faith. Declare inwardly, with the quiet authority of one who has been watched over, I receive this blessing. Then move. Act when certainty is absent. Let faith carry you where sight cannot. Simple obedience in small steps activates the pathway to larger provision. Let your posture be one of expectancy, your hands open, your feet ready to step. Imagine what it will feel like when you take possession by faith. Comfort replacing worry, healed places within you, a renewed clarity of calling. This season is asking for your courage. What is the first quiet step you sense God asking you to take? Share a short reflective comment below. Stay with me. Next video, we will explore practical, faith-filled steps to claim and steward the provision that is already on its way. You feel the hush settle like a curtain, and in that quiet there is a voice, soft, certain, calling you forward. This is not a call to hustle harder or to rearrange every plan you've ever made. It is an invitation to take a different posture, to stand in faith, to bow in obedience, to move with the calm confidence that what you have been waiting for is already aligning on the other side of your trust. Remember that the delays you endured were not the end of the story. They were a protection, a shaping process. Every closed door, every lesson that stung, every night you wrestled in prayer has been preparing you to receive what is now stirring. God is opening a door of provision that will not follow the usual path. You will see opportunities arrive in ways that surprise you. Right people appearing at the right time, resources released from unexpected places, a seed sown that yields a harvest you couldn't have designed. This season asks you for courage that looks like a quiet decision. Declare inwardly that you receive it. Act when certainty is absent. Faith begins where sight ends. Stand where you are, but move in the Spirit. Take small steps that reflect your trust. Give the next faithful offering. Speak the next word of reconciliation. Accept the invitation you might have previously declined. These are not transactions. They are acts of alignment with the provision that is being prepared for you. Do not let familiarity keep you rooted in a place that no longer carries your destiny. What waits on the other side of this door will reshape your finances, mend the worn places in your heart, and renew the purpose that has been quietly waiting for courage. You are invited now to step through. Curious, what would one unexpected blessing change for you today? Share a short reflection in the comments. One sentence about what you're ready to receive. Stay with me for the next video, where we'll explore the first practical step to take when that door begins to open. Right now, a different kind of invitation rests before you. It does not come wrapped in the familiar language of hustle or careful spreadsheets. It arrives like a quiet knock, God speaking, a door beginning to swing open where miraculous provision waits. You stand at that doorway. The air feels charged, not with anxiety, but with holy expectation. Remember, the delays were not denials. They were seasons of protection and refining. Every closed road, every not now, has aligned you. The hard lessons and the healed wounds have reshaped your trust. What you have been preparing for is not earned by striving but received by posture, an upright, surrendered heart, and by obedience that looks small at first but carries great consequence. Faith is not reckless. It is the steady choice to step when the map is unclear and God's voice is clear. You will see provision arrive in ways you did not script. A conversation that opens a door. A timely favor. Resources released through hands you didn't expect. These are supernatural intersections, moments where heaven supplies the next step. Your part is to claim what is offered. Speak the inward declaration. Take the incremental act. Move when certainty is absent. This is how faith begins, where sight ends and trust speaks. Feel this invitation as personal. God knows the prayers you whispered alone. He knows the hope you guarded in silence. He calls you now to receive, not with fear, but with the courage faith requires. Step forward. Take possession by faith. When you do, what appears on the other side will reshape your finances, heal sections of your heart, and restore a clearer sense of purpose. Curiosity. What would one obedient step look like for you today if everything else depended only on God's timing? Reflective comment. Below, write a single sentence starting with "My next obedient step is," and share it. Speak it to yourself, then to us. Next video. In the following clip, we'll move from invitation to activation. Practical ways to position your life and steward what God brings. Stay with this season. You stand at that hush before a door opens, and in that stillness you hear God, not as thunder, but as a quiet, decisive voice. He has spoken. The hinge of provision has begun to move. You are invited to step forward, not by human striving or frantic plans, but by posture, a posture of faith, obedience, and a heart willing to receive what cannot be manufactured. If your life has felt stalled, know this: delay was not denial. Every season of waiting, every lesson that scraped your edges, every wound that taught you humility has been precise alignment, preparing you for a provision that will arrive beyond prediction. Miraculous wealth in this moment is not merely currency. It is doors opening into new networks, right people appearing at the exact hour, resources released in ways that defy explanation. You will see opportunities that feel like divine interruptions of the ordinary, invitations that carry the fingerprints of God. This promise is deeply personal. He knows the quiet prayers you whispered, the nights you wrestled, the small hopes you kept hidden. He calls you now to answer with courage. Declare inwardly that you receive this blessing. Speak it into the hush. Move when certainty is absent, because faith begins where sight ends. Do not let the comfort of the familiar keep you rooted in a place you outgrew. The path forward will ask for trust that looks reckless to the natural eye. It will require small acts of obedience, a step taken before the map appears. When you take possession by faith, expect transformation. Finances reordered, old burdens lifted, your heart healed in the process, and your purpose renewed with clarity. Allow curiosity to rise. What would your life look like if you truly believed this door was meant for you? Share one quiet truth below. What prayer are you now ready to reclaim? Leave it as a reflective comment and prepare to follow. In the next video, you will be shown the first practical step to cross this threshold. Watch closely and step when the time comes. You are standing at a quiet threshold, and God is speaking. You can feel it in the hush of your spirit, a gentle nudge that grows into a steady pull. This is not a shout that startles you into movement, but a still, strong voice inviting you to lean forward, to shift your posture from anxious grasping to surrendered expectancy. The season that felt like delay was not denial, but divine protection and precise alignment. Every closed door, every lesson, every healed wound has prepared the ground beneath your feet for something supernatural to take root. You will not earn this season by strategy alone. You will step into it by faith, by listening more than planning, by obedience more than striving. Believe that God is opening a door of provision that appears through unexpected opportunities, through people showing up at the right moment, through resources arriving that defy ordinary explanation. When certainty is absent, let your faith begin. When visible proof is scarce, let your posture of trust be sufficient. Speak inwardly, even now, and declare that you receive what God has already purposed for you. Act on the seeds He places in your hands, however small, knowing that when you move in faith you invite multiplication. Do not let familiarity or fear anchor you where you no longer belong. Release old patterns of scarcity and step into the posture of possession. Take the small, obedient steps you sense. Call, forgive, invest time. Say yes to the opportunity God places before you. What waits on the other side will reshape your finances, mend the places in your heart that ache, and renew the clarity of your purpose like light breaking through a long night. Curious about what the first practical step looks like for you? Share one honest sentence in the comments about the small step you feel God asking you to take, and I will pray over it with you. Stay with this unfolding. Watch the next video where we will name practical ways to recognize and steward the supernatural provision God is bringing into your life.